Okay, I wanted to show you a few more cards in preparation for the card in a box kit which comes out in April. We're using the Snailed stamp set, and in the card in a box kit you get the stamp set. You also get a Memento ink black ink pad to stamp the little darlings, and you'll also get some paper and some embellishments and everything you need to make the cards. So the cards in the card kit, or the cards in a box, you will be ending up making this one and this one and this one. It's a nice little opening one, and this one, and last but by no means least, this one. So they're the cards that you make in a card in a box, but I wanted to show you that there's so much more you can do with this kit. So I made some little cards here just to pop in the post to friends, just as a quick hello. You know, there's still a pandemic going on, people still want to say hello to people, and they didn't take very long, and they're very quick and easy to make. But one of my favourite types of cards to make is a shaker card. So I thought today we'd have a go at making a shaker card. Now, this is a make as we go project, so I'm not sure if it's going to work, and if it doesn't, well, I'll bin the video. No, I won't really. Right, so already I've lost my piece of acetate that I cut out, so I won't have to cut another one of those out in a moment. But anyway, here we go. So I've got a standard 6x4 card base. I've cut out some patterned paper and the bit that will go on the front here. And then what I wanted to show you is, with this paper here, there's my acetate, yay. With this paper here, you can use the dies to cut out this snail, but you can also use the dies to cut out the little envelopes, like so. So basically what you do is you find the little envelope die, which of course I will now have lost because I was just using it, and you cut them out. You run it through your little Stampin Up cutting machine, and you can cut out the dies. Here it is. It was hiding under there. So what I've done is I've just trimmed it down a bit. Here's my beautiful little Stampin Up Stamp and Emboss machine. I've got the bigger one, but I like this one just to sit on my desk because it's quite small. Pop him on there, pop your plate on the top, and then just run it through, and voila, perfect little envelope. And what I also did is this folds up for easy storage. Love it. I took some little scraps of cards and cut out some envelopes, some extra envelopes, so that I got some colourful ones. And obviously you can do more than one of these. I cut two pieces together, so there'll be some stuck behind each other, but these are the colours that are in the card pack. So I've got some plain ones, some ones with the little stamps on, and some like this. And then I guess you've got a couple of hearts in there. You could punch out some hearts and put them in, and you could punch out die cut some of the little mushrooms as well. I might cut out a few hearts, so let's have a look. If you open this up again, pop it out. What I can probably do actually is, if I've got two bits of, it's always just scrap cards that I use for doing bits like this. Everybody has scrap card in their scrap room. So what I'm going to do is put 4 bits down like that. 1 heart on there, 1 heart on there, pop the plate on top, run it through, nice and easy, and then we should have, and we do, let's get rid of that, pop those out, get rid of that, pop those back in my pack, close my little machine down, and voila, they've got 4 hearts. Now I should have 5. I always prefer to do odd numbers, but never mind. Anyway, so those are going to be my little shaker elements, and I might put something else in them as well. I haven't decided yet. So my first thing, all the measurements for this will be in the description below. The first thing I need to do is to stick down my base, and I use liquid glue for this because it's forgiving and it lets me stick it down. It's grubby that side. Lets me stick it down and move it if I need to, although that's not too bad at all. So I'll leave that to sit. I'll find my acetate. This has been on the floor though, so it's probably not in the best shape it is. It could be, and I use my little Stampin' Emboss buddy to just go over that so that it takes away the static, because it's very, very static, and if you don't do that, then your little bits inside can stick to it. Once I've done that, I just wipe it off with a cloth. I don't have a cloth. Just a little microfiber cloth over here, just to get rid of it. Then I take my cover, check that it fits okay. It's still very static on there, but never mind. Could probably do with a little bit cutting off one side. Just going to take my little stamping trimmer here. These are really useful bits to keep on your desk because they're not massive. And then just check that again. That's better. Now to stick this down, I would usually use tape, but I don't know where I put it. So I'm just going to run a little bit of the liquid glue around the edge, keeping it away from the edge of the card because I don't want people to see it. Pop that on there and let that think for a moment. So we've now got the elements of the card coming together quite nicely. What I want to do now is I could use the die and cut out him and then cut out this chappy with scissors, but I think what I want to do is stamp them. So I've got some Whisper White cardstock here. Let's find a stamping block. Will it be big enough? Probably not. You should be there. So I'll take my block here and I'll get my Memento ink here. The reason I'm using Memento ink is I'm going to colour this little baby in with the blending pens, and the blending pens will, if you use a different ink, the blending pens will bleed through the ink and it looks awful. So just going to pop those two down like so. That's not the best cut stamp. Do I like it? Probably not. Let's just pop him on again. That's better. It's only paper. I'll just let that dry for a second, so I don't want it to run. So as you can see, the Memento ink is recommended for using with the blends. Anything that's got alcohol markers in it works really well. So let me just check that I have everything going there. So with my snail, I do like the I start with the darkest, but I've always been told that a lot of people prefer to start with the lightest, so it's whatever you like. At the moment I'm using Flirty Flamingo, Daffodil Delight and Pool Party, which are not, Daffodil Delight is a colour from here. I don't have the pink Blushing Bride that comes with it, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a yellow shell on here, and that is the darkest. That is the dark. So I'm just going to pop a bit of colour onto this shell here, and I'm not an artist, as you will see by my ridiculously rubbish colouring. Then I'm going to take the lighter one and just blend that in. So it's just, I go round and round and round in circles. You can do it however you work, however you work best. I'm not so worried about blending in the lines at the top, because the lines in the lines, because I think that looks quite cute. But there we are. And it does actually, as it dries, blend much better. So I've got a yellow shell on him, and I think I'm going to have him to be this colour. So I just want to, and you really don't have to be too precise on this because you're cutting them out. So if you go over the edges, or colour outside the lines, really doesn't matter. I'm leaving his eyes because these snails just call for googly eyes to be put on them, and they make me laugh. So googly eyes it will be. Just blend that in a bit. There we go. And then for this little fella, I'm gonna make it a girl, I think. Oh, wrong end. So I'm just gonna colour like so. Blend that in. You're basically just going over it to blend it in, but it blends it in really well. And then I'm going to give her a blue shell. So I'm just gonna pop underneath and maybe go around that bit, don't know why. And then blend that in. Et voila. Just pop those out the way for a moment. Bring out my little machine again. My little bebe. Onto my plates. Et voila. And then, because the swap is the right sort of size, that'll fit on there nicely. Now I've got to work out what way around these go. Can't be for him. That one's for this little baby here. It doesn't cut out that you've got male bits, so we'll do that in a second. And then, is it that one? It's that one, isn't it? So you can use tape to stick these down, but because I'm on a video, I'm going to hope for the best. There we go. And perfect. So just pop that out the way again. I didn't colour in, just noticed I didn't colour in his little present. So we'll come back in with the pink. And I think what I'm just going to do is a pink dark one. And a light pink one. And then the little heart on here, if you buy the bundle, you get these little love heart embellishments. So I was going to colour the heart in, but that is so much cuter, isn't it? So, construct the card. So that's all stuck down. I need to put some foam on here. Stampin' Up now do foam strips like so. So you can just pop one of those in. And, oops. Oop, over a bit. So I want some space. Spare bit there that just about fits in if I trim it. I prefer to wedge them in a bit if I can, because I don't like to think that anything's going to fall out. Oops. So I'll just wedge that bit in there, and then peel off another piece here, which I'll go past it there. Doesn't matter. Go on, cackhand it today. There we go, so that's nice. Make sure I've got the card facing the right way up, because I have done that before. Well, I haven't. Pop my little shaker elements inside. You could stamp a heart on these actually, if you wanted to. But I'm just going to pop them in like that for now. And then you could throw in a couple more. You see how static that is still? You could pop in a couple more sequins or something. I'm wondering maybe this is... Oh no, thought it'd run out of powder, but maybe not. Still static. Oh, but not as bad. I think if I... Oh, don't move around. So I want to get the envelope ones the right way around, because otherwise you won't be able to see them. So I'm just going to peel the backing off my foam tape. This will pick them up again. Eyeball it over to make sure that I'm covering the tape. Could have gone more left. It's a bit wonky, but it'll do for now. And then I'm going to stick these two on here, and I think I'm going to put them on dimensionals, because I like a bit of dimension to the project. So there's one, and oh, it's a wet and windy day here today. Here's the other one. And then they shake around, look. Oh, why aren't they shaking? Oh, there we go. So they all shake around. And then we could put a hello up here. We could use Snailed It, which is the other one. My daughter's writing her dissertation at the moment, so but she was in charge of a ward for the first time yesterday, which she was absolutely blown away by, because she's a third-year student nurse, loves nursing, was definitely where she was supposed to be. So she rang me last night and she was like, oh, you'll never guess, I was in charge of a bay. I was like, ooh, okay, well done. Now then, you can use the inside of the envelope to cut that out. Actually, I think what I'm going to do is cut out the envelope. Ooh, let's have a look. If it's rubbish, which it might well be, we'll revert back to the original, but it's always good to play around, isn't it? If you don't play, you don't get anywhere. So let's just cut that out. So yes, I have two daughters. One is a trainee nurse up in York, so I haven't seen her for months, because she opted in on the to do the nursing through COVID, bless her. And then she got COVID, so she was very poorly, and I still couldn't go and see her. So I was very upset about that. But that's what happens, isn't it, when you've got children? You see, you stick it down like that, doesn't make any difference, does it? No, I should have stuck with what I was doing. Stick with what you were originally planning. So, envelope. Oh, you can tell that I'm trying all these different things. You can, of course, just cut it out with scissors, but I have to confess that I'm absolutely rubbish at doing that. Now this probably won't go through my machine now because it'll be too big. So I'm just going to trim it down a bit. That's okay. Run that through. See, if I've got guides like I will have now, running it through with that. I can easily cut that out. It's fairly straight, although you watch me totally mess it up. Ooh, squeaky, squeaky. And the other daughter, that is really wonky, who was never wanting to go to university, and I will never force one of my children to go to uni if they didn't want to go. She's not that sort of person. Decided that she wanted to be a pilot, so she's now training to be a pilot. There we are, you snailed it. Now I might put that on dimensionals as well. Never have too much dimension. And yeah, 1, 2. Let's pop that up. Pop it up in the corner, and then it's just crying out for another little heart, isn't it? I can put quite a few on there actually, but there we are. Now, and there we have it, a nice little shaker card with some of the snails on it. Again, I really think that it probably did need a bit more of the anti-static inside. Now, if you wanted to step this card up a bit, you could stamp on the bit here, you could emboss this piece, you could use pattern paper again for the outside, you could stamp something underneath. On this card here, I stamped little hearts all the way around, and you could do that underneath here and you'd see it. But that's just an idea for you to see. So if I bring a few in, you're going to see that there are lots and lots of different ways you can use this stamp set and the dies and still, you know, value for money, I think is what it is. It's value for money. Anyway, let me know what you think, and I will try and do another video soon. Until then, happy stamping.